All right, ready to dive into some Enneagram compatibility.
Absolutely. Always fascinated by these pairings.
Today it's Type 3, the achiever, and Type 7, the enthusiast.
Two very different personalities, on the surface at least.
Right, achiever's so ambitious, always going after that success.
An enthusiast, adventurous, always up for something new.
So can these two contrasting energies actually work long term?
Well, the interesting thing is that initial spark between them.
Okay, so right off the bat, what's the draw?
Both types are high energy, optimistic, really magnetic personalities.
The kind of people who just light up a room, yeah.
Exactly. So that vibrancy creates a connection right away.
Makes those first encounters pretty exciting, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. Interactions are lively, very engaging.
But is there something more beyond just appearances?
Definitely. It runs deeper. Both are drawn to exploration.
Exploration in what sense?
All kinds, new ideas, new places, new experiences, you name it.
I see, so they're both intellectually curious.
Exactly. Love a good conversation, stimulating each other's minds.
So that connection goes beyond just surface level.
Absolutely. It lays the groundwork for something more substantial.
Okay, so we have the spark, the shared zest for life.
Right.
But how does that play out day to day?
Well, imagine their mornings just buzzing with energy.
I can picture it bouncing ideas off each other already.
Planning their next adventure, maybe brainstorming a project.
Or just a lively debate over coffee sounds fun.
Exactly. That's their dynamic.
But all that intensity, wouldn't that lead to friction eventually?
You'd think so, but they both handle stress incredibly well.
How so?
They share that optimism, amazing ability to bounce back from setbacks.
Don't dwell on the negative.
Not at all. They're problem solvers, always finding that humor.
Sounds like they have a we can conquer anything attitude.
Pretty much.
So we've looked at their personal dynamic. What about friendships?
Well, achievers, with that drive, they inspire enthusiasts.
To actually achieve those ambitious goals they dream up.
Exactly. Help them focus that energy and get things done.
Makes sense. And what do enthusiasts bring to the friendship?
They remind achievers to loosen up, enjoy the present moment.
Not just focused on the destination, but the journey itself.
Exactly. Bring that joy and spontaneity to the mix.
It's like a beautiful balance, structure meets adventure.
You say that.
But let's be real, no relationship is perfect.
True enough.
What challenges might pop up for this pairing?
One area is that need for control, very typical for achievers.
Right. Driven by ambition, want to manage things for success.
And that can clash with the enthusiast's desire for freedom.
Makes sense. Two different approaches to life, in a way.
Definitely. One's about goals, the other about experiencing openly.
So how do they bridge that gap, then?
It all comes down to communication, being open and honest.
Expressing needs, understanding each other's perspective.
Exactly. The achiever might need to loosen the reins a bit.
Give the enthusiast space to breathe, to explore.
Right. And the enthusiast might need to appreciate structure more.
So finding that balance where they can both thrive.
That's the key.
We've talked attraction, daily life, challenges. What about romance?
Now that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Remember that shared passion for life we talked about?
Yeah, the exploration, always trying new things.
That translates beautifully into romance. Think spontaneous dates.
Adventurous trips, those late-night deep conversations.
Exactly. A relationship that's constantly evolving.
It sounds exciting, full of surprises.
Never a dull moment, that's for sure.
But relationships are more than just excitement.
You're right. Emotional depth matters too.
So how do they handle that aspect?
Empathy is crucial for both partners, understanding each other.
And how does that play out specifically for the achiever?
They're often focused outward on achievements.
So they might need to be more emotionally present.
Exactly. Slow down. Tune into their partner's feelings more.
Appreciate those quiet moments, not just the big wins.
Precisely. Finding that emotional balance is key.
And for the enthusiast, what's their role in that?
Well, they're known for being lighthearted, optimistic.
Sometimes maybe avoiding those heavier emotions.
Yeah, so they might need to develop that capacity a bit more.
To sit with discomfort, understand the achiever's deeper needs.
Yes, offer support and encouragement beyond just cheering up.
So it's a two-way street, both learning and growing.
Absolutely, that's what makes it work.
We've covered a lot of ground, but let's shift gears a bit.
Okay, where to next?
How about their teamwork dynamic? Could they be a powerhouse professionally?
Oh, absolutely. They complement each other's strength beautifully.
In what way?
Well, you have the achiever's strategic mind, the planning,
Right, focus on those results.
and then the enthusiast brings boundless energy, the creative spark.
The ability to come up with those innovative solutions.
Exactly. It's a recipe for success.
But could their different approaches to work clash?
Potentially, yes. The achiever is laser focused.
While the enthusiast is more playful, free-flowing,
Right, so the achiever might see them as scattered.
and the enthusiast might see the achiever as too rigid,
It's about finding that middle ground, recognizing each other's styles.
communicating clearly about strengths, weaknesses, and expectations.
Absolutely. Then they can leverage those differences effectively.
But beyond just getting the job done, what about personal growth?
That's one of the most beautiful aspects of this pairing.
Okay, I'm really curious to hear more about that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Let's dive into that a bit further.
Sounds good. So much potential for growth when these two come together.
Okay, break it down for me. How so?
Well, the achiever, grounded and goal-oriented, right?
Right. Always striving for that success.
They can help the enthusiast focus that boundless energy.
Provide some direction. Help them actually achieve those dreams.
Exactly, because enthusiasts are full of ideas, but sometimes struggle with follow-through.
And the achiever's energy can keep them on track.
Absolutely, it's a great combination for getting things done.
Makes sense. But how does the achiever benefit from this dynamic?
The achievers are great at setting and reaching those goals.
Yep.
They can get so caught up in that pursuit of success.
That they forget to actually enjoy the journey.
Exactly. They push themselves relentlessly, sometimes neglecting their own needs.
Even the needs of those around them, I imagine.
Yeah, it can happen.
So that's where the enthusiast steps in.
Right. They bring that zest for life, that joy in the simple things.
Reminding the achiever to slow down, smell the roses, so to speak.
Exactly. To appreciate the present moment, loosen up, and have some fun.
They bring back that playfulness that might have gotten lost.
Absolutely. It's a really beautiful balance they can create.
They challenge each other, encourage growth where the other might be lacking.
It's a powerful dynamic, that's for sure.
Life throws curveballs, though. Things don't always go smoothly.
True enough. But these two are actually pretty good with change.
Really? How so?
Well, remember that shared optimism, the resilience we talked about.
Yeah, they always seem to bounce back.
It's key here. Both achievers and enthusiasts are adaptable.
So they don't see change as something to fear,
Not at all. They view it as an opportunity for growth.
like a new adventure to embark on together,
Exactly. They approach those challenges with positivity.
looking for solutions, using that love for learning to navigate the unknown.
It's inspiring to see that ability to find the silver lining.
It is. We've talked about shared passions, navigating challenges. What about their minds?
Oh, their intellectual connection is one of their strongest points.
Okay, tell me more about that. How do their minds work together?
Both type 3s and 7s love knowledge, always wanting to understand the world.
So those deep conversations, debating philosophy, dissecting the latest discoveries,
Exactly. They constantly stimulate each other's minds.
pushing each other to think in new ways, expanding their horizons together,
It's a real synergy, that intellectual back and forth.
adds another layer of depth to their connection.
Absolutely. It's more than just surface level.
This is starting to sound like the ideal pairing: passion, adventure, intellectual stimulation.
Don't forget mutual growth. They really bring out the best in each other.
But the big question, can this actually work romantically?
Oh, you might be surprised.
Okay, all ears.
Their love for life, the optimism, that constant pursuit of new experiences.
Yeah, it sounds like a recipe for some serious chemistry.
Imagine those spontaneous dates, adventurous trips, late night talks.
Okay, I'm starting to see it.
It's a relationship that's always evolving, always exciting.
But romance needs more than just excitement long term.
You're right. It's about understanding each other's emotional needs, too.
So how does that play out for the achiever in a romantic setting?
They might need to work on being more emotionally present, available.
Because their focus is often external on those accomplishments.
Exactly. They might need to slow down, savor those quiet moments with their partner.
Not just rushing towards the next goal.
Right. Learning to appreciate the journey, the connection itself.
And how does the enthusiast contribute to that emotional balance?
Enthusiasts are amazing at bringing joy, lightness to the relationship, but they can sometimes struggle with emotional depth, consistency.
Because they're always seeking out the next exciting thing.
That's part of it. So they might need to develop that capacity for deeper emotions a bit more.
To sit with those uncomfortable feelings, understand the achiever's anxieties.
Yeah, and to offer support beyond just trying to cheer them up.
Sounds like both partners need to put in the work, but the potential is there.
Absolutely. It's a dance. Finding that balance between excitement and stability.
between independence and intimacy.
If they can navigate those complexities, the rewards can be incredible.
It's about finding that sweet spot where their strengths complement each other.
And where they can grow, both as individuals and as a couple.
It's been fascinating diving into this type 3 and type 7 dynamic.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
And for our listeners who are now intrigued, wanting to learn more about themselves,
What would you suggest as a next step?
well, a great resource is Personality NFT's website. They have tons of information.
Their AI apps, tests, the hub, it's all designed for self-discovery.
Help you understand your own personality and how it interacts with others.
Exactly. It's a fantastic starting point.
And for those who want to connect with others on this journey,
Their chat feature is amazing. You can talk to people who are just as interested in this stuff.
a whole community of self-discovery enthusiasts,
It's all about continuing the exploration, expanding your understanding.
and using that knowledge to build stronger, more authentic relationships.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power when it comes to personal growth.
We've covered so much ground today, from the initial spark to long-term compatibility.
It's been quite a journey.
Before we wrap up, though, one final thought.
Sure. What's on your mind?
We've talked about passion, connection, navigating challenges, all the positives.
Right. Those are all important aspects of this pairing.
But what do you think is the most beautiful part of this type 3 and 7 connection?
That's a great question. Really makes you think.
There's so much to admire, it's hard to choose just one.
It really is. But I think for me, it's their shared optimism, their ability to see the world full of possibility.
That infectious energy, that belief that they can create something extraordinary together.
It's inspiring, it draws people in, makes them want to dream bigger, live bolder.
Never stop exploring, right?
Exactly, that zest for life, that optimism, it's what sets them apart.
I love that. It's a beautiful way to put it.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
Right. Every couple faces challenges.
How do a type 3 and 7 handle those inevitable disagreements?
Yeah, conflict resolution is a big part of any relationship.
Well, they both have a strong commitment to communication.
Open and honest, laying it all out there.
Exactly. Neither type shies away from expressing their feelings.
So that directness can be really helpful when things get tough.
Absolutely. They address issues head on instead of letting things fester.
No passive-aggressive tactics? Good.
They see conflict, when handled right, as a way to strengthen the bond.
Interesting. So it's an opportunity for growth.
Absolutely leads to a deeper understanding of each other.
I like that perspective. But what does that communication actually look like?
It's a dance between assertiveness and empathy.
Okay, break that down for me.
The achiever might need to soften their approach a little.
Because they can be very direct, goal-oriented.
Right, so it's about listening more, validating their partner's emotions.
Expressing needs without being too demanding or critical.
Exactly. Finding that balance is key.
And for the enthusiast, what's their part in this stance?
They might need to get a little more comfortable with discomfort.
Because they tend to focus on the positive, avoid confrontation.
Yeah, they may need to practice expressing their needs more clearly.
Setting boundaries, understanding that not everything can be resolved with a joke.
It's about finding that balance, just like for the achiever.
So both partners have some work to do, but that shared commitment to honesty helps.
It creates a really solid foundation for working through disagreements.
And ultimately coming out stronger on the other side.
Exactly. It's a continuous process, but communication is key.
This has been so insightful, really exploring every angle of this pairing.
Lots to consider, that's for sure.
For our listeners who are now ready to embark on their own self-discovery journey,
What would you recommend?
I always point people to Personality NFT's website. They have so many resources,
Get the AI apps, the tests, the hub. It's all designed for that deeper understanding.
helping you understand your own personality, how it interacts with others.
It's a great place to start. Explore those different dynamics.
And for those who want to connect, share their experiences with others.
Don't forget the chat feature. You can talk to people who are just as fascinated by this.
A whole community of personality enthusiasts sounds amazing.
It's all about continuing the exploration, learning, and growing together.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Type 3 and Type 7 compatibility,
Any final thoughts for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that understanding personality types is not about putting people in boxes.
It's about appreciating the diversity of human nature, using that knowledge to build connections.
Stronger, more fulfilling connections.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to ourselves and others.
So to everyone listening, embrace your uniqueness. Celebrate those strengths.
And never stop exploring the fascinating world of human connection.
This has been such a great conversation. Thank you for joining me today.
It's been a pleasure. Always love diving into these topics.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of personality.
Until then, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep those connections strong.